Oh boy. Um, I don't know if this is even going to be a video, because I do have a lot to say about what's happened in the last few days with these announcements. For nearly, I would even go as far to say that probably for nearly a full year, there really hasn't been a whole lot of game releases that I've been too interested in, which is good. It means I've been able to focus on my backlog despite the fact that the two series on the Louis channel is making it really difficult for me to actually play some of these games in my spare time, especially Shin Megami. That has definitely held me back from playing Expedition 33 despite how much I want to play it. I know there's some people that genuinely don't really pay attention to these kinds of events, and that's, to a certain degree, I think it's fair. It has been a long time since a event or the summer, I don't know what you would call, obviously we could just call it the Summer Games Fest event, but really the three events that have been happening over the past couple of days, all of them have had quite a decent amount of games that are just genuinely, honestly, pretty insane reveals. We are getting finally another Platinum's game for The Last Ronin. Obviously, the developers of Nier and Bayonetta are making that, which is just insane. And it makes sense considering I'm pretty sure how depressing that story is. I have never read it because I don't read books. What a surprise. I thought it was Raphael that you play as. I didn't know you play as Mikey in that game, which makes it even more, or in that story, whatever. I think that makes it even more interesting, to be honest. I think maybe one day I might give the comic an actual read. We will see. I probably won't, but you never know. So that was a really cool surprise. Then we have the reveal of two new Cuphead games, one being in development, most likely Cuphead 2, and the other one being like a side scroller shooter, which is cool, or platformer. That's cool for the fans of Cuphead. I think that's really sick. I could probably, if I do make this a video, I'll probably will just put a list of the things that I am excited for that have probably been announced, more of a proper trailer in the span of the last couple of days. It is a lot. And yeah, I think the big three was surprisingly at the Xbox showcase. I was not expecting that. Xbox has had some pretty shit showcases over the last few years now, similar to the State of Play in that regard, in my opinion. But I will say the amount of really cool announcements in that showcase was insane. And I know a lot of people already know what's been announced. Not only did we get more of a look for Persona 4 Revival, which looks pretty cool, not only did we finally... we are finally getting a new Spyro game after so long. And honestly, when I first watched it, it kind of gave me a Hero's Tale vibes mixed with like The Legend of Spyro, specifically 3, with the free flight segments in 3. So that was really cool. I don't know why it gives me vibes of that, because I'm pretty damn well sure that the title card for the new Spyro game doesn't even remotely look similar compared to the Legend of Spyro title. But still, I just couldn't get over how I felt about that. And then the thing that I've been waiting for 7 years now, Persona 6. To some people, it isn't really much of a surprise because it makes sense. But I cannot lie, dude. I am so ready to be done with Persona 5. As much as I love that game, and even to a certain degree some of its spin-offs, I'm so glad that we are finally moving on for Persona 5. And in a way that I didn't expect, it seems like the vibes from the trailer alone give off such a really dark and almost depressing, spooky sort of vibe to it. What I've noticed is, obviously with some of the descriptions, I think in the Xbox page, showed that there's going to be some occult shenanigans going on in this game, which the further you read that description, I know a lot of it's not original, right? But when I first read that description, I did think of Persona 2, and I know a lot of people are saying that genuinely this game, Persona 6, might be going back to those sorts of vibes. And, I want to do a very stupid thing and say that maybe that connection, there's a reason for it. I don't know. Granted, the Persona games have, at least to my knowledge, haven't really directly connected to each other since, I think ever since Persona 2, I would say. I think. Persona 3 and upwards have always stayed clear of that. But yeah, I have absolutely no idea if Persona 2 is going to have some form of importance to 6. I'm just going to assume that as much as the similarities between the description and even the vibes of the trailer, I would assume that it's still very much just going to be a standalone thing. I don't think that they're going to try and dig up old lore and make it somehow relevant to 6 after so long of that being just kind of irrelevant to the games. I'm not going to lie. I think it'd be a very interesting direction if they decided to dig up old lore for 6. But I don't know. I mean, it is literally a teaser, so obviously we have absolutely no idea other than the vague descriptions of what it's actually going to be. So I am keeping my expectations in that specific aspect to a minimum, because I could go all Zelda brain and go, oh dude, this is going to connect to all of the games. Even Persona 1 and 2, they were connected, but it was definitely in a way that was still pretty loose. I mean, who knows? Sorry for the schizo theory shit. I am really excited, and I don't really care if it does or doesn't have a continuity to the older games. I just want it to be good, and I do believe it's going to be good. So I'm usually like this for series that I'm really, really passionate about. I'm like that with Nier. I'm like that with obviously Zelda. I'm even like that with Sonic. So I'm sorry. I know that sometimes that kind of way of thinking in franchises is pretty annoying, because it usually is pretty schizo. But I'm just that excited. There's so many ways that they can take Persona 6, and I think with the vibes that we have gotten, it's at least, it might be one of the darkest, or it very well could be the darkest game that we've gotten from the franchise so far. I know some people were theorizing that maybe 6 was going to go for a more Persona 4 feel again, with it being a little more lighthearted, but I'm really glad that they're going in this direction. I really am happy about that. There's that new Yakuza game. It's not really a Yakuza game, but it looks really cool. I can't remember. It is on the list that I probably edited in. There's a Nintendo Direct happening while I'm making this video in midnight here in Australia. So, yeah, the train hasn't stopped yet. You know, maybe 5 to 6 to maybe even 8 games that I'm actually interested in that have all been announced in the span of like a few days. It's actually unreal. It is actually crazy. And even not counting, I'm honestly not counting just the specific ones that have been announced recently, but just in total games that haven't been released yet. Yeah, I do feel like that the late part of this year for me and next year is going to be pretty busy, and I'm so looking forward to that. I'm just really, really happy. There's a lot to look forward to. The doom and gloom of the gaming industry and even the world right now, a lot of it's justified, a lot of it's fair, but it is nice to just sort of have something positive and to, you know, actually be excited for not just 1 or 2 games or even luckily 3, but just a ridiculous amount of them. That's hasn't happened in a really long time for me, so I know many people don't care. I know many people don't feel the same way. There's many people that don't care about Persona. There's many people that don't care about Spyro. But I'm just really happy. I've even changed my profile picture on my PlayStation to be Persona 6 logo. I'm out of all the games, of course, that has been recently announced, it obviously fucking Persona 6 is easily my most anticipated game of the entire decade. I would say that GTA 6 is up there. I really do like that franchise, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. No, that's considering how many people are such a fan of that series. It is definitely a hot take when you compare to the amount of people that do tend to play and buy those games when they come out. I haven't fully decided on anything just yet. We'll see. But I am cautiously optimistic in potentially maybe making Persona 6 a Louis Channel series if the planets align and if I feel comfortable enough to do something like that. Persona 6 or the Persona series means a lot to me. So I don't feel necessarily comfortable doing a series on it because it just means a lot to me in a personal way that it's hard for me to do something of a series that is just that personal to me. But yeah, I know this video was probably completely useless to anyone, but I feel like I should at least say something that's happened, because considering how much I am a massive fan of Persona, and you know, I feel like saying nothing felt pretty wrong. It is honestly pretty crazy, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through it all. Because a lot of them are pretty massive games. Obviously, Persona 6 is probably going to be either just as long as Persona 5 or even possibly even longer than it. So that's going to be crazy. Obviously, GTA 6 is going to take a lot of my time out of the later bit of this year if it doesn't get delayed again. And like, you know, you have Spyro. That seems like they're doing a really cool new direction with the franchise, which is cool, making it, I would assume that one segment of that game is going to be open world, while, you know, the more enclosed areas are going to be the typical classic Spyro platforming with the gliding and stuff. I have no idea. That looks cool though. Really looking forward to that. You have Fable. Initially, I wasn't particularly too interested, to be honest. But when I saw the gameplay trailer or whatever for that, seeing how your choices actually do affect the world in a way that's not usually seen in games, I was pretty sold at that point, to be honest. I am really looking forward to that game when it comes out. Again, there's that RGG big game that has, for some reason, Snoop Dogg and Tupac, which is weird. That is like the only part of the whole game that I've seen so far that is a little weird, and I can't lie, it feels very forced. It's the kind of ridiculous that you would probably expect in like a Yakuza game, but it's a lot more of a serious game compared to the Yakuza series, clearly. So it's just a little weird. Who knows? Maybe they can make it work into the story surprisingly well. Who knows? Funnily enough, that game, Fable, and Persona 4 Revival all come out. Like, 2 of them come out in the same month, and 1 of them comes out early gen. Fucking insane. And there's also a lot of games that are coming out and releasing in specifically September for some reason. Obviously, actually, because of GTA 6, but still, it's a lot. There's a very good chance that depending on circumstances, I might, even if the Shin Megami series doesn't get finished by October this year, I might need to do a bit of a hiatus just so I can actually have the time to be able to play through some of these games that come out. Because I can't lie, dude. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm happy. It's definitely too much to juggle playing those games when they come out while also doing the Shin Megami series that also takes a lot of time. So we'll see about that. But yeah, sorry for the yapping. I'm sure I'm probably going to edit this down to something reasonable. I will most likely play the Spyro game when that comes out. That would be pretty fun to do on the Louis channel, now that I have the new capture card with me. And I know this is a lot of yapping. It's a massive yap session. I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but once the Shin Megami series on the Louis channel is done, I'm probably only going to be playing those bigger games for games that I truly care about going forward, because it's a lot. At least it's a lot to me. I'm only one person, and I don't really see a whole lot of people nowadays play, through a game that is literally 100 hours long as a YouTube series. It is pretty rare nowadays, and I think there's a very good reason as to why that's the case. But, I will do it. It will just be the exception and not the rule going forward, because for the most part, it depends, as I said, it depends on the game, but I think I've found my limit. I think the maximum I can do on the Louis channel is probably around a 40-hour game, maybe even 50, but beyond that, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I think that's fair. I'm not even entirely sure if I'm going to be reacting to the Nintendo Direct Live. I don't know. Probably not. I don't really do those anymore. But I might. We'll see. Anyway, maybe I might record it or something. That might be a better way to go about it. Hopefully, I'll be able to record part 20 of Shin Megami tomorrow. Because it's been a pretty busy last 2 days. Hopefully I am able to get that episode out. Hope you guys have a good day. Have a good one. And I guess I'll see you all with part 20 of Shin. Take care, and bye-bye.